Alright guys, so this was extremely requested to do a tutorial on the Zippo trick video that I recently posted called Tiki torches. I like to preface this video with saying that this is for entertainment purposes only. I do not don't want anyone to replicate this at all, because it is a potential fire hazard, and your parents or your wife or husband or kids or neighbors or local fire department, they don't want you to do it either. Okay, so this is purely for entertainment purposes, not to be replicated at home, so be safe. So that being said, this is how I did that trick. I thought it was very straightforward, and I think most people watching would understand what I did there, but just in case you didn't, this is what I did. I took 20 of my Zippos. Obviously this trick can be performed with just a stack of Zippos. I would say maybe 5 Zippos or more would be fine. At least it would give you the visual aspect of this trick. By the way, this is a trick that involves no talent whatsoever. A lot of Zippo tricks require, you manipulating your fingers in a certain way, just like balisong manipulations. It does take quite a bit of skill, and that's why you practice them, and that's why it's hard to do, and they're impressive because not everyone can do it. However, this is basically all set up, and it's all show, and there's no talent involved whatsoever. What I did was I lined up 20 Zippos and I alternated them. Okay, so the lid would be facing to the right, and the next one the left, right, and so on. Okay, that basically gave 3 rows. Okay, the center row is the row with the actual guts of the lighter. That's the part that's going to light up. All right, so this is a huge safety tip for myself, of course, because you're not going to replicate this at home, right? Because you're smarter than that. But what I did was I used empty Zippos. I think this is a big safety tip, because if you were to use filled Zippos, you would increase your chances, I think, of accidents and fires and all kinds of stuff like that. I used empty Zippos, and I took a small dripper bottle. This comes from, e-liquid or e-juice. You can get these empty online. Put whatever you want in here. You can use empty eyedroppers, whatever. But basically, pop the top off, filled it with lighter fluid, and instead of using instead of using filled Zippos, I used the bottle to basically charge each one of those wicks. So I put a little bit of fluid on each wick, so that when the fire hit it, it would light. It would give the illusion that the Zippo is filled with fluid. However, it's a much safer way of doing it than using actual filled Zippos, because if one happened to fall over, some of the fluid came out, it'd be a huge mess, and obviously potential for fire hazards. So I basically just did 2 or 3 drips on each wick individually. Now, as far as the actual trick part of it, the part that I did was I took my regular Zippo and I put the hinge side down, cap or lid to the left and body to the right, because I'm righty. I hovered it over the table a little bit, took my pointer finger and smacked it open. Now I hovered it in such a way so that when I smacked it open, it basically lined up with the other Zippos like that. Then I slapped my finger down, hitting the wheel, lighting the lighter, and this basically presents my single flame. Then I used a small canister of Banaka, which is an aerosol breath freshener, which was my propellant, gave it a little bit of a squirt, which gave me a fireball. That fireball had lit all the Zippos down the row. And whatever did not get lit on the little fireball, the flames on either side lit it. So there was a little bit of a hesitation there. Obviously, if you perform this trick with more fluid, you would get a more consistent lighting of the each individual Zippo. The problem, however, is if you use an accelerant that's too forceful, even though it's a really hot, forceful ball of fire, it will blow them out and they won't actually light. So something like this works a lot better than a larger, more dangerous propellant. So anyway, that is the tutorial on how to do the Tiki torches, just for your entertainment only. Do not do this at home. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you had an awesome day today. Hope tomorrow's even better, and I will see you soon with some more videos. Bye-bye.